All right, dive it in today. And get this, the topic is humility.
Humility.
Yep, humility. You know when you sent over all that research, the articles and notes, I got to be honest, I thought this one might be a little on the dry side,
Yeah, I can see that.
but I was so wrong. It's been really fascinating digging into all this.
I'm intrigued. Where did we even start?
Well, first off, it turns out humility is way more complex than I thought. It's not just about being self-deprecating or putting yourself down.
Right, there's got to be more to it than that.
Exactly. There's this one source, 08.pdf. It actually defines humility as having like a modest and unpretentious view of one's own importance, which is, well,
A mouthful.
haha, yeah. But basically, it's not about shrinking yourself. It's more about understanding where you fit in the bigger picture.
That makes a lot more sense. It's about perspective, right?
Totally.
Yeah.
And it's interesting because it ties into this whole idea of having a balanced self-image.
Balanced self-image.
Yeah. So it's about knowing your strengths, but also being really honest about your weaknesses.
That's not always easy. We tend to focus on one or the other, don't we?
We do. But one of the things that struck me is that a balanced self-image can actually lead to healthier self-esteem.
You'd think it'd be the opposite, right? That you need to pump yourself up all the time.
Exactly. But it seems like a little humility, a bit of reality, might actually be the key to building genuine confidence.
Fascinating.
And you know what else? The research really highlighted how arrogance, the opposite of humility, can be so destructive.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, think about it.
One of the articles even talked about how it can damage relationships.
Oh, absolutely. Arrogance just creates this constant tension, like a need to always be right or
Yeah.
superior.
Yeah, we all know that person. It's like their arrogance pushes everyone away.
Well, humility draws people in.
Exactly.
And that brings us to this interesting distinction. True humility versus false humility.
Oh yeah, 08.pdf talked about that too.
So true humility comes from a place of genuine self-awareness, right? But false humility, that's almost like a performance.
It's like those people who are always downplaying their accomplishments, but you can totally tell they just want you to disagree with them.
Oh yeah, classic. They're fishing for compliments. It makes you wonder, why do they even do that?
Maybe it's fear of truly connecting with people. Or maybe they need to control how others see them.
Could be. It's definitely an interesting thing to ponder.
Okay, so let's get practical. How do we actually become more humble?
Well, the research had some great tips.
Yeah, like active listening. That one really stood out to me.
Such a crucial skill. To really be present with someone, to hear what they're saying without letting your own thoughts just take over.
Oh man, I struggle with that sometimes. I get so caught up thinking about what I want to say next that I completely miss the point.
We've all done it. It's a good reminder that practicing humility often starts with quieting our own ego.
For sure. Another one that caught my eye was about avoiding comparisons.
Yeah, good luck with that one, especially with social media these days.
Seriously, it's like a constant stream of everyone else's highlight reel.
It's so easy to get sucked in.
And all that comparing can really mess with your self-worth, which makes genuine humility that much harder to achieve.
Absolutely. And speaking of difficult, how do you stay humble, like truly humble, when you're dealing with someone who's being super arrogant?
That's a tough one.
Yeah, like 08.pdf talked about being humble in both victory and defeat, which sounds great. But what about when someone's rubbing their success in your face?
I think in those moments, you got to remember that their behavior is about them, not you.
Yeah.
Your humility becomes your strength. It helps you navigate those situations with grace without letting their arrogance get to you.
So it's like a shield almost.
Exactly. Humility protects you from that negativity.
I love that. So where does all this leave us? I mean, what's the big takeaway from our deep dive into humility?
Well, I think we've learned that humility isn't about putting yourself down. It's about self-awareness, about recognizing both your strengths and your weaknesses.
And about really listening to others, resisting those comparisons, and staying grounded, even when surrounded by people who aren't.
It's about recognizing that true humility is a source of strength. It allows us to build better relationships, deal with challenges more effectively, and ultimately cultivate a deeper sense of peace within ourselves.
That's powerful stuff. Who knew humility could be so powerful?
Right.
So to our listeners, what resonated with you most from all of this? Which tips are you going to try out? Maybe give that active listening a shot today. And remember, true strength comes from within.
Absolutely.
And that wraps up our deep dive. Until next time.
See you then.
Bye.